Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell because guys, I'm on fire with like posting videos, guys. This is like the most I've ever posted videos, I think, ever in my whole YouTube career. So go ahead and hit that little notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload. But today guys, I'm just gonna like sit down and talk to you guys. Let me tell you, today's story is kind of crazy. So ever since I did my story time, my baby daddy drama, I got such a good like feedback from that. A lot of people loved that video, and also it had the most views on my channel. And a lot of people asked for a labor and delivery story. And I kind of don't want to like keep talking about the same thing, but this story is actually very, very interesting. That's the word, interesting. It is. It's super, like, I don't think it's like any other labor and delivery story out there. So before you guys come and watch this video, I suggest you go ahead, pause this video, go to my baby daddy drama video. I'll list it down below in the description box and check that out, because I will be referencing the names that I used in that story time, in this story time, just so no one gets confused. I also wanted to say, I know I've promised you guys a lot of videos. I know I did the 24-hour foundation test, and I also did like a crazy weird combinations that you guys sent to me that I'm going to be trying out. All those videos are coming. I'm just having a little car trouble right now, so I don't have time to like go to the store and buy like the foundation or the food. So they're coming, trust me, but I'm just want to let you know. So while you wait, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the story. So where do I begin? I'm now on maternity leave. I was due February 14th, 2015, Valentine's Day, but I actually went into labor earlier. So I was on maternity leave. I haven't spoken to Brad in a couple of weeks since I left work. And it was kind of just like, it's kind of awkward. I was planning not to tell him when I was giving birth, because first of all, he's married now. I really doubt that he's going to be able to come to the hospital to deliver this baby with me. And I just didn't want the awkwardness. Like it's already really awkward as is, so I didn't want to deal with it. So it's Super Bowl Sunday, and the Super Bowl's over. Everyone's just hanging out, and I start getting these pains. And at first I'm like, no way. I heard that when you're like pregnant for the first time, you usually go past your due date, and it was February 1st. So it was 13 days before my delivery date, and I was like, no, there's no way I'm giving birth now. Like there's no way. Like the pains were just like, like they weren't serious. They were just like kind of like cramp pains. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. But I thought maybe Braxton Hicks, like, I don't know. It's my first time being pregnant, my first time delivering a baby. Like, I don't know what's going on. So it's like, oh, okay. And I tell my mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm feeling pain. And my mom's like, what? Really? And they're pretty consistent. They're like every 5 minutes, but they're not strong. They're kind of, you know, like period cramps, nothing crazy. And I'm like getting all flustered, super excited. I'm like, oh my God, I'm giving birth. And my mom's like, calm down. And my mom's like, I'm not taking you to the hospital till you're dying crying on the floor. And I was like, well, that's aggressive. Like, what do you mean? She's like, you're not going to the hospital till you're like dying crying on the floor. This is nothing. And I was like, it's Super Bowl Sunday. I'm getting like the contractions. I call all my friends. I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting contractions. I think I'm going to go into labor today. And I also call Brad's family, because like I said, I was still very close with Brad's family, and they had been there like my whole entire pregnancy. Even though Brad wasn't part of the pregnancy, they were very much a part of my pregnancy. So I called his sister and I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting contractions. And she's like, no, hold the baby, like don't give birth today. And I'm like, I don't think you know how this works, girl. Like, I can't just hold a baby. Like if he's coming out, he's coming out. I can't do anything about it. I didn't understand like why she was so adamant on me not having the baby that day. I'll tell you later why, but there's a reason. So I'm like, Mom, they start getting stronger, and they also start getting like closer together. So I'm like, Mom, can we please go to the hospital? Like, my water hasn't broken or anything, but I'm like, can we please go to the hospital? She's like, okay, let's go to the hospital. So we drive to the hospital. And before you can get admitted into a room, you actually have to they have to like test you, make sure you're like dilated enough. You have to be at least 3 centimeters dilated before you can go into a room and they can like, oh, Dylan woke up. Hold on. So before you can actually get admitted into the hospital, you have to be at least 3 centimeters dilated. So they take you into a room, they test you, they see if you're like, you know, at least 3 centimeters dilated. So I go in and this lady's just like, you're only 2 centimeters dilated. We can't give you a room. So they told me to go home, relax, and then come back when the pain's stronger. Or if my water breaks. If my water breaks, I have to go immediately to the hospital. I was like, okay. So on my way back, my mom stops by a bodega. And she's like, I'm going to buy this tea. And I'm like, a tea? And she's like, yeah, this tea is going to help you like contract faster, if that makes any sense. She's like, it just speeds up the process of giving birth. And I was like, oh, okay, Mom. Like, you know, we went to this bodega, we bought the tea. My mom made the tea and I drank it, and literally within a couple of minutes my contractions started getting stronger and they started getting faster. So I was like, oh my God. So my mom's like, I'm not going back until like you are really in pain. And I was like, well, how bad can this be? So I went upstairs, I took a shower, I got in my room, and like the contractions were strong, but they weren't too strong where, like, you know, like I was uncomfortable. So I ended up going to sleep. And I swear to you guys, it was straight, I literally was straight up out of The Exorcist. So I was asleep, and just in the middle of my sleep, I got such a strong contraction that it literally woke me up from my sleep. I started screaming, like screaming, and I went back to sleep because I was so tired. So it was literally like I woke up, screamed, went back to sleep. And now my contractions were every like 2 minutes. So I just kept waking up with this like unimaginable pain. I was screaming into my pillow because I didn't want like anyone to hear me next door. And I was like, oh my God, like I think it's time. I think I need to go to the hospital now. I'm in tears, and I call my mom and I'm like, Mom, I think it's time. And my mom just hears me like crying on the other line, and she's like, oh, it's time. So we're on our way back to the hospital, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I must be at least like 7 centimeters dilated because the pain was just so unbearable. Like I was just like, this baby's like literally right there, like it's ready to slide out, because I just like it, like the pain from when it started to now was just so insane. It was so drastic. So I was like no, like I am like ready to pop this kid out. So we go to the hospital. Again, they had all my information from the first time already registered into the computer, so it was a lot faster this time around. They got me into the examination room to see if I was at least 3 centimeters dilated, and the lady is checking me, and she looks up and she's like, you're only 3.5 centimeters dilated. And I was like, bitch, what? Bitch, where? What do you mean? Only 2.5 centimeters? Like I only dilated 0.5 centimeter from the time I left like 3 hours ago, and this pain is like 50 billion times worse, and it was only 0.5 centimeter? And she's like, yeah, we can't give you a room yet. And I'm just like, guys, the pain is so strong that I can't like fully stand up straight. I'm like crouching over and just like bending every time that I get a contraction, and they're very, very frequent. They're like every minute now, and I'm just like, okay. And I stay very relaxed. I'm a really nice person. I'm just like, oh, okay. And she's like, well, I'm like, you're so close. She's like, I don't want you to go back home. What I would recommend you doing is just walking around the hospital and coming back like an hour or so later, and we can check you again. So they gave me the hospital gown. I'm walking around this hospital, you know, and just trying to keep it together, but I am like freaking out. I'm freaking out. I'm like, this is the pain, and I'm not even 3 centimeters dilated, and I have to dilate to 10. I can't imagine like the pain. And I was really trying to do this without any epidural. I don't know who I thought I was. I'm walking around the hospital and my mom's like, listen, now it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'd say when I left the hospital when I left to go to the hospital the second time, it was like 3, I'd say. So now it's like 5 o'clock in the morning and my mom's like, listen, I'm gonna go home and drop off some food, some breakfast for the kids, and then I'm gonna come back. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So she goes home and I'm texting people. I'm like, okay guys, like I think this is it. I'm at the hospital. I'm like 2.5 centimeters dilated. Like I think it's gonna happen today. And before I know it, literally Brad's cousin, Brad's sister, Brad's mom, everyone just shows up to the hospital. And my mom hates Brad. To this day, she hates Brad. And she didn't hate his family, but she wasn't necessarily the biggest fan of his family either. So everyone just starts showing up and they're, you know, talking to me. They're like helping me. They're like holding my hand while I walk through the hospital. They're joking around, trying to get my mind off of the whole thing. And his sister pulls me to the side and she's like, listen, I told Brad. And I was like, okay, like, oh, so what? He knows, like, it's not, he's gonna show up. He literally has like a whole wife, a pregnant wife at home, okay? His mother-in-law had no idea that I was even pregnant. No idea until the day I gave birth, guys. So how was he gonna explain to his mother-in-law, like, hey, I have another woman pregnant, she's giving birth today, and I have to leave your pregnant daughter to go to the hospital to like see my son be born, you know? Like there was no way he was gonna do that, and I knew that. So I was like, okay, so he knows, whatever. And she's like, he's on his way. What'd you say now? His sister was like, he's on his way to the hospital. And I was like, oh no, like no, that's not gonna work. Like we're not doing that. Like literally I was like, why is he here? He's like, he really wants to be here for his son. He wants to see his son be born. And I'm just like, this is just awkward and like wrong on like so many levels. I like, my first thought was like, I have to call my mom. I have to call my mom and tell her like Brad's on his way. So I call her and I'm like, hey, listen mom, Brad's family's here and I want to let you know like Brad's on his way too. And my mom's like, oh hell no, he better not be there when I get there. There's no way he's gonna be in the delivery room. He can't, no way, no how, get him out, tell him not to come. And I was like, mom, I'm like so torn about this part. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, he didn't deserve to be there, he wasn't helping you throughout any part of the pregnancy. And I know like some people might have mixed feelings about that. I completely understand, and I'm not gonna fight with you guys and be like, I'm right. Like I made that decision. I decided like, if he's gonna go through all of this trouble to just be here for the birth of his child, then I'll let him be here for the birth of his child. I tell my mom he's gonna be in the delivery room, and my mom loses it. My mom's like, then she told me to fuck off. And I was like, then fuck you, I'm not gonna be there. And I told my mom, I was like crying. Like, can you imagine me pregnant, contracting, okay, almost ready to give birth, and I'm crying and I'm like, please mom, I want you here. And she's like, then it's either me or him. And I'm like, how can you put me in that like dilemma right now? How could you do that to me? Like, don't you want to be here for the birth of your grandchild, of your first grandchild? And she's like, she just hangs up on me. And I was like, okay. So now my mom's not gonna be here. So now I get admitted into the room. I'm now 3 centimeters dilated. I'm ready to give birth, and they're like, okay, you can have 2 people in the delivery room with you. Obviously, number 1 is Brad. Who else is gonna be there? And I was like, his sister, because I was very close with his sister at the time. So I was like, his sister. So I have Brad and his sister there. The guy comes in, he puts in the epidural. I actually have a contraction in the middle of him putting the epidural in me, and I'm like freaking out. Like, he finished putting the epidural in, and I'm like, wait, I have to go pee. And the nurse just looks at me and she's like, yeah, no, you're not gonna go pee. And I was like, wait, what do you mean, why not? And she's just like, move your legs. Guys, nothing. I had no movement, no feeling, nothing in my legs. I have the epidural in, and now it's just awkward. It's just so awkward. Like, I am now like in a room alone with Brad and his sister, and it's like, what do we talk about? It's just like, it's super awkward. And I'm kind of just like trying to focus on like, I'm gonna have this baby, I'm gonna finally meet my son, like it's a good day. I don't need to focus on that. So I eventually fall asleep, and out of nowhere my mom barges through the doors and comes into the room and just starts cursing Brad out, like just cursing him out, like just shitting on him to the most extreme. And this is how like mama bear my mom is. Like, she's really just, she is crazy. So my mom comes in and she's like, you motherfucker, you piece of shit. She's like, how dare you have the balls to come here after everything you've done. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, oh my god, mom, please, like, not now. And my mom's like, you know what you are? She's like, there's fucking dogs, there's dog shit, and then there's you. Like, you're less than shit. Like, you just literally everything in the book. And as I mentioned in my last video, Brad is actually a Christian man, so he is so scared of my mom that he actually just like closes his eyes and just starts praying. He just, in the middle of all this, just starts praying. And this is how crazy my mom is. So she sees that Brad is now praying, and she's like, what? You think praying is gonna save you? She's like, listen to me. She's like, I'm gonna go to hell, and I'll see you there too. And I was like, bitch. My mom gave no fucks. And it gets so loud and crazy in the room that a nurse actually comes in and like escorts my mom out, because she's like, whoa, like, no, not here, not now. She doesn't need this. And I am now crying. Like, I don't know why I cried. I was just like, I guess I was so emotional. I'm hormonal. I'm giving birth. And like, it was just a lot to take in. And so she escorts her out. I'm crying, and you know, his sister and Brad are comforting me. They're like, you know, it's okay, we're fine. And then it comes time for me to push. And I dilated so fast, the epidural was still in me when it came time for me to push. I pushed, and I think like I actually have a video of me in the hospital. His sister like hid my phone in a corner, and I got a little like, you know, view of everything that's going on down there. I got the whole thing, and I was like, whoa, like, birth is crazy. It's literally a crazy experience. And we are strong. Women are strong, bro. So after I gave birth, I met Noah. It was such a relief. Everything that had just happened didn't matter, because I now have my son with me. Fell asleep right after I gave birth. I was so exhausted from like just giving birth that I just knocked out. And I wake up in the like the room that they give you after you give birth, and his whole family is there, and there's like presents galore. There's in like diapers, there's a baby wipe warmer, I have like bottles. It's like it's an overwhelming amount of gifts. And I was like, oh my god, like I was left speechless, because first of all, it was a huge snowstorm the day that I gave birth, and literally his whole family was there. So the fact that they like just drove through this whole snowstorm just to be there for me was very like heartwarming. And his sister told me, she's like, I didn't want you to give birth because we were planning a surprise baby shower for you, and this is where all of these gifts are coming from. And I felt so like, just so thankful that, you know, out of like everything that happened, they could have treated me like shit. They could have been like, okay, bye. Like they didn't have to be as kind as they were to me, but they were, and I thank them. And I still talk to them to this day. Actually, his little sister is starting a YouTube channel very soon. If she has a video up by then, I'll go ahead and link her video down in my description box below, so you can check her out too. But yeah, that is my labor and delivery story. It was definitely an insane day. but everything was totally worth it because I got to meet my son Noah for the first time, and literally the biggest blessing in my life. And so is my other son Dylan. They both are just huge blessings in my life, but they have changed me so much, and just for the better. Like, people always say, like, when you have a kid, you can either like go a completely different route, or like a bad route, or you can change and be a better person for your kids. And I honestly believe that being a mother has changed me for the better, and I am just completely just grateful that I'm a mom. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing, and yeah, let me know if you like this video, and let me know what else you guys want to watch. Also, follow my social media because I do a lot of interactive stuff there where I talk to you guys, do like polls to see what you guys want to see. So go check it out. Everything will be listed in the description box below. Alright guys, till my next video. I haven't said this in a while. Stay magalicious. I'll see you next time. What? What? Here you go. Thank you. Can you close the door?
Okay.
Thank you.